Coby Black is leaving the Broncos at the end of 2026, right when Jonah Pezet joins the club. Now that's a headline that hits a bit differently, doesn't it? Because for years now, we've been told that Coby Black was the one, the next great Broncos halfback, the kid from within the system who was going to lead this team for the next decade. So what does it mean? Is this one we'll come to regret? Or is it just smart list management from a club that's finally thinking long-term again?
Yeah! Old Skool Broncos! Yeah!
G'day legends, welcome to the Old Skool Broncos Podcast, your home for fan perspectives on the mighty Brisbane Broncos. Let's wind this back a bit, because when you talk about halfbacks, you're talking about the single hardest position in rugby league to get right. It's the spine, it's the brain, and it's the heartbeat. And it's the position that can make or break a decade for a club. And the Broncos know that better than anyone. We've had eras of brilliance. Alfie Langer, Lockyer, although a 6, and Reynolds recently. And we've had the wilderness years in between, where no one quite fit the mould. So when a kid like Coby Black comes along, a local junior, flashy skills, natural footy brain, it's only natural for fans to get excited. But there's a cruel truth about halfbacks. They rarely make it as teenagers. Most halfbacks don't find their groove until their mid-20s. That's just the way it is. You need time to fail, to read the game, to understand tempo and pressure. All the stuff that doesn't come from talent, but from scars. Look at Tom Dearden. Rushed into the Broncos as a teenager, told he was the saviour, then handed a side that couldn't win a raffle at a meat tray. He lost 20-something games in a row. Confidence shattered. He had to go to North Queensland, rebuild himself from the ground up, and now he's Queensland's halfback and an Australian representative. It wasn't talent that changed, it was time, patience, and a system that let him breathe. Look at Nathan Cleary. He is the exception. But even he wasn't a superstar right away. He was protected, given a simple role, leaders all around him, and a club that wrapped the whole structure around his style. He's brilliant now because Penrith built him that way. He hasn't had to rebuild himself after failure. Now let's look at Isaiah Katoa at the Dolphins. He was thrown in early, but look at the difference. No expectation, no media circus, a strong forward pack, a smart coach, and a leadership group that shielded him. He's been allowed to grow quietly, and that's why he's thriving now. That's the blueprint, but it's rare. Most kids don't get that luxury. Now Coby Black. This kid's been in the Broncos system since he was 14 years old. Big raps, silky ball skills, calm head, everything you want in a modern 7. But he's still a boy in a man's game. He's only just started playing against grown men in the Queensland Cup. And while he's handled himself well, it's a long road from that to directing an NRL team around the park. He was probably earmarked for his debut next year in 2026. A gentle introduction before maybe taking over in 27. But let's be honest, it's a gamble. And when Jonah Pezet suddenly became available, the Broncos made the call. Because Pezet's a year or two further down that journey. He's played NRL footy, been in a professional system, and he's got runs on the board. It's less of a gamble after everything the Broncos went through post-2018. They're not rolling the dice anymore. Originally, the plan might have been Ben Hunt to return and steady the ship for 27. The old boy comes home, mentors the next generation, and gives Coby Black a year or two to grow into it. That made sense, until Hunt goes and got his fairy tale. A premiership, a perfect full circle moment. Now, does he still have the drive to grind out another 2 seasons? Maybe, maybe not. So when Pezet came on the market, the Broncos didn't wait, they pounced. This isn't about turning their back on a junior, it's about managing risk. They can't afford another Tom Dearden moment where a young half gets thrown to the wolves too soon. But there's always a danger in choosing the safe option, isn't there? History reminds us of that too. Remember when the Bulldogs let a skinny kid named Jonathan Thurston go because they already had Brent Sherwin? At the time, it made sense. Sherwin was established and on fire. Thurston was untested. And we all know how that turned out. The kid they let go ended up being one of the greatest of all time. And they've been chasing a genuine halfback ever since. Could Coby Black be that story? Maybe. Or maybe he's another young talent who needs to go away, learn his craft, and come back when he's ready. Like Reece Walsh did. Because that's the other side of the coin. The door's never closed. If he develops well, grows up, and wants to return, the Broncos will have the gates wide open. And here's the real point. The Broncos are finally in a position to make these sort of calls. 3 years ago, they weren't. Back then, every decision was reactive. Every signing was about survival. Now, they've built depth, a system, and a culture that attracts talent again. So when a Pezet becomes available, they're not scrambling, they're selecting. And that's a huge shift. Will it hurt losing Coby Black? Yeah, probably. You know, you never like seeing one of your own walk away. But it's not a disaster. It's just the reality of modern footy. You just can't keep everyone. So will the Broncos regret it? Time will tell. Maybe Coby Black becomes the next big thing somewhere else. Maybe Jonah Pezet becomes the steady hand the Broncos need in the post-Reynolds era. Or maybe, just maybe, Coby comes back one day, a bit older, a bit wiser, and ready to take that jersey he was always meant to wear. Either way, one thing's for sure. The Broncos are back to being a club that players want to be at. They're making big calls again. They're thinking about premiership windows and not panic buys. And that's what the great clubs do. But what do you think? Is this a mistake by Brisbane? Are they making the safe call? Let me know in the comments. And of course, remember to like, share and subscribe so we can keep this thing going. This is the Old Skool Broncos Podcast. Let's go, Broncos.